Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
We had every intention of getting back onto regular scheduled programming, but what's been happening, Amanda? That's prevented it from that.
Honestly, I think it might be an easier list of what hasn't been happening. This, and as you can tell my voice, it's been kind of like a rough, I would say just a round number of a rough 30 days has been happening. I think I told you guys, I got a urinary tract infection right after Christmas, or right on Christmas actually is when I developed it. And then I was a little bit nervous about taking antibiotics. I didn't know how that was going to interfere with treatment. Kind of found out that's really actually like not a big deal at all. And then we get to San Francisco, and San Francisco, once again, great news, but there was a lead up to that, what happened that day that I'm still kind of struggling to like put into words because it was just like all over the place for me. But because we're sharing this so publicly, there are a lot of like people that Jesse and I both talk to on an individual basis, like people who are just reaching out to us because someone in their life has glioblastoma, or so there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. And I think Jesse and I are very diligent and absolutely respectful of people's privacy and things that we've been told, or like things that people tell us. And like you meet people on this journey, and on the same day of my MRI there were multiple people that I know that had MRIs, and I was all just gung-ho and hopeful for each and every single one of us that had an MRI the same day that I did. Per typical, on MRI day, I usually just turn my phone off and I get into the MRI machine, and MRIs are really easy for me. I am very thankful for 29029 because I used to do this thing when I didn't want to hike any longer, even though a training plan would take, I was supposed to be having a longer distance, and what I would always say is just 100 more steps. So every time I got to 100, I would assess, like, can I keep going? And so when I go into the MRI machines, it's just like a series of 100 over and over again, which I sometimes just fall asleep in MRI machines. And that was not the case this time. There was a very kind, and I'm only guessing, a very compassionate person who was told kind of like a shitty thing that happened. And she just kind of blurted something out to me. And I was just about to go into my MRI, and that was the last thing that I heard. And I don't need to say exactly what it was, but it had to do with animal abuse. And it like really affected me going into my MRI. And I couldn't just like not remember what someone just told me. And so that was the start of the day. And then right afterwards, I leave and we go now to the second location because I split my time, and the MRI is in one location and then the results are somewhere else. And I usually turn my phone off. And in this particular day, not all of us had great news. And you really become friends with these people. And so when I found out about people in particular that didn't have the same news that I was told, it like, even though I got a clear scan, all I could think about was other people. So that was rough.
Well, and that particular thing happened before you went and got your results too. So
Yeah.
it was almost as if you began to anticipate that you were going to get the same results.
Yeah.
Going into it.
Yes.
And then when you got on the other side of it, it was just so remorseful that they didn't have the same results you did.
Yeah. And I know I'm starting to realize with things that this is going to be the name of the game for sometimes. Like, that people are going to have, like, our journeys are always going to look very different. That was rough. And then I don't think it's any surprise that I got sick right afterwards. Like, within 24 hours, I got super sick. Then I get sick. Well, when you have glioblastoma and it's your first time having any type of illness, I was terrified. I just thought, oh my God, does that mean that even though I just got out of an MRI, thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like really terrible, or does this mean like, I don't even know what it means. I was just scared. I was just really, really scared. Then I started not being able to breathe very well. I have asthma, and sometimes when I get really sick, my asthma symptoms start getting worse. And one night I realized I could not breathe, and I couldn't breathe, and it was scary. So I landed myself into the emergency room. Everything's fine. It's more just kind of like they had to give me some fluids, and I need a rescue inhaler just to be on the safer side of things, which I have one. I just I was really thinking it was something a little bit bigger than asthma at that point. Right after that, I just couldn't sleep. Like, my sleep schedule was so off because we didn't go to the emergency room until kind of, when did we go? Like 9 p.m.?
We got there at 10 p.m. We left there at 3 a.m.
Yeah. So then it just kind of threw everything off. Yeah, it's been weird for me. This has been the harder, like a really hard month. And month meaning the past 30 days. Not like calendar month, but it's just been tough. It's been a tough one.
And when you got back, because it threw off your sleep, you didn't sleep the next night.
Yeah.
Yesterday, still feeling sick.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until last night you finally slept.
Yes.
And now you're feeling better today, though, right?
Yeah, feeling definitely better. I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't say that my heart goes out to the LA, the people of LA.
You feel so deeply for it. Anything else you want to add to this?
If y'all can just I don't even know, send some well wishes tomorrow at 1:40. I have a doctor's appointment to see if I can do chemo in the next couple days, because my labs did come back. I don't know how to interpret them, but when I looked at the arrows and where they should be, that's not where they were. But actually coming off of an illness, it makes complete sense.
Multiple illnesses, because you went from chemo to urinary tract to antibiotics to an illness to a massive amount of stress because you were so worried about the illness.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that your labs have really reflected negatively. Historically, through this whole thing, Amanda's labs have trended positively, where she looks like she gets healthier on chemo.
Right.
But this one really did take a hit.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. We will get updated on what comes of Amanda's next appointment with our oncologist, and we will be back to having hopefully some more thorough discussions about some of what you talked about today, because I think there's some really good things that we could dive deeper into. As always, your love, support, prayers, well wishes are appreciated. If you have questions, you can obviously leave them in there. We'll either address them in the comments or in a future video. And we hope you are all well and that year 2025 is off to an incredible start. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.